Smoke.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Why So Sidious a Nerd podcast. We are live on YouTube, and joining me today are my co-hosts Andy, JD, and Dave. And the topic today is bringing you another edition of Week in Geek. We have some Denis Villeneuve news. A couple trailers came out for Game of Thrones and Marvel, and a little Star Wars talk at the end as well. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Why So Sidious Pod on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. It'll help us out. And then our recent episodes, we do have our MCU Nerd Therapy, Avengers Doomsday, plus X-Men, introducing Andy to the crew. We have our Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man comic review. That's an ongoing, brand new comic, correct?
Yep.
What'd you guys think of it real quick?
Me, it's one of my favorite Spider-Man runs ever. So real good.
Wow.
That's overhyping it a bit. It's kind of slow at points, but still, I really love it.
Cool. Yeah, it's been really good so far. Yeah.
And also, if you're looking for some nerd talk, life talk, whatever, maybe there's some big news of the day, Andy and JD will be on YouTube a couple times a week in the mornings. So if you're looking for a little extra content, head over there. All right, let's start the news with our favorite director, Denis. So he is, of course, directing the next James Bond film. Mm-hmm. He will start casting process in the next year after he finishes Dune 3. It will be a fresh-faced British actor, likely in his late 20s or early 30s. It could be an origin story about how he got recruited to MI6 and attained 007 status. Film is aiming to release in 2028. So Andy, as our UK correspondent, this is of course a big franchise over there, right? Is everyone over there big James Bond fans?
Yeah. My wife is a huge one. It's definitely obviously a massive one over here, and I've got it exclusive for you all. It's me. I'm the new James Bond.
I know it.
Obviously, suave, sophisticated in my mid to late 20s. Slim, athletic. Right. So there's absolutely no reason why you're not going to be seeing this a bit more. No, it's obviously it's a big franchise, one of the biggest in the world, to be fair. So people obviously seem to rate it a lot lower than like the big nerd ones, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Marvel, etc. So, but it gets a lot of love. It's interesting the way that they've gone with actors over the years, so it's going to be interesting to see who they bring in now to be the new Bond. But yeah, I think everyone's pretty excited for it, especially since it's essentially a big reset. Like you said, it's going to be potentially showing how he gets 007 status, even though they kind of did that with Daniel Craig. He wasn't really a 007 in the first one, and then became one at the end.
Right.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go with it and who they cast.
I think maybe they go Tom Holland.
I don't see Tom Holland as a 007.
Right.
He's nearly 30, but he's still got the voice of a 15-year-old. I don't see him being the suave and sophisticated Bond type, if I'm honest. So no, I don't really see it being Tom Holland. I mean, if they were going older still, like if they still wanted to do people in their 40s, obviously Tom Hiddleston would have been perfect, I think, for that role. But yeah, if they're going like 20s, then yeah, I really don't know who they're going to cast at this moment.
Right. Dave, you excited for Bond?
Yeah. I loved the reboot with Daniel Craig. It was my favorite. I mean, I never really liked the Pierce Brosnan movies, even though I know they're classics and everything. My biggest connection to it is laughing at the ice snow surfing scene or whatever the hell that god awful CGI train wreck scene was in the Halle Berry movie, I think it was. So I didn't really care much for the Pierce Brosnan stuff. So Daniel Craig, I really liked it. I loved Casino Royale. Skyfall is one of the best Bond movies for me of all time. I think it's my favorite one. So Denis taking over the reins is awesome. So I think that's dope. I think casting, I don't know, man. I think the Daniel Craig, when he was announced, people weren't happy and it worked out great. So I don't really think we can tell much until we actually see the product on the screen. So I'm not going to have a huge reaction to casting unless they do something like, hey, it's Pedro Pascal because he's in everything. Like then I'm going to be like, all right, this is pretty dumb. But other than that, I'm pretty open-minded to who the casting is going to be.
Yeah, I was never a big Bond guy, so after hearing that, I kind of want to watch Skyfall, dude. But other than that, I don't think I've seen a full single James Bond movie. My biggest connection to James Bond is shooting people with a golden gun with an old gaming console.
Oh god, yeah.
But it's not exactly my cup of tea. Like the spy thriller doesn't really have enough grit, I guess. There's a little more flash and like I don't know how to explain that, but if you say Denny's going to be on that project, then that's going to get me right on over that side of the fence because it's close. Like I would definitely give it a shot. I really want to watch Skyfall now, but it's just it's kind of like in the Mission Impossible Fast and Furious thing. It's a little outlandish for being something that's supposed to be like realistic or this isn't supposed to be any kind of sci-fi or super fictional world. It's supposed to make sense in our reality. And it's a little outlandish for stuff like that for me. But Denny that thing, I think that'll bring something just perfect to that.
I'm sorry. I can't let it be on the same level as
Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
I'm just saying like, that's the
Furious.
type of conversation we're having.
I got you.
They're not
It's
on the same
franchise.
level of outlandishness at all.
But
gotta
it
give
does
more
have its
props
moments.
to that. Yeah.
It does have its moments where it's like he's dead right now, but they that's part of the James Bond thing.
Yeah,
But
dude,
you,
I haven't.
you would like Skyfall. I bet you would really like it. It's a
Actually,
solid
in
kind of, like,
Skyfall, he gets
Well,
shot
he
and
probably
he
should have died.
falls. He falls like 200 feet into the water. It's like the beginning of the movie, and that's how the credits start. But yeah.
I need to
Yeah,
give it
you
more of a
probably should do that.
chance. I got some homework to do there,
Dude.
especially if Danny's going to come up. I kind of have that urge to go back and maybe watch some of the better ones that y'all would recommend.
Yeah.
No Time to Die is not bad as well.
For sure. Yeah, I need a list of 2, 3.
Is that the
that I could
last
throw
one?
on.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the very
Yeah,
last
that
one.
wasn't
I mean,
bad.
Oh,
I
I
don't
did
know if
see that. No, I saw that in theaters actually. Yeah, that was actually pretty good because my
Oh,
buddies dragged me
okay.
out there.
Oh,
I got,
yeah.
I just went along with it. So I actually did enjoy that one.
I mean, they're all on the UK Amazon Prime at the moment. I don't know if they're on American Prime, but they've all come back
think
onto
so.
UK Prime at the moment. So maybe they'll be on American Prime, and there you can go. You can spoil yourself rotten, JD.
Yeah, dude, Casino Royale with Mads Mikkelsen too is a great one. There's a couple of really solid movies.
Some crazy
the
poker
Daniel
hands,
Craig
though.
one. Crazy other hand. Balls getting smashed and all that good stuff. But yeah, no, you should check it out.
Oh God. In the chair.
Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
the first scene you think of when you hear the words Casino Royale, but God, no.
I just think of the car flip because that was like a world
Yeah.
record amount of car flips at the time, wasn't it? So
All right, let's keep it with Denis, but move on to Dune 3. Rebecca Ferguson is returning as Lady Jessica in Dune 3. She doesn't, this is a quote from her, "I don't have a big part in this one. She's barely in the book. I'm not sure I was supposed to be in it." And Denis had a little idea. The script is phenomenal. It's such a dense book. There's so much to tell. Denis does dip in and out, and he does try, and he does want to have certain connections and tentacles to the book. Whatever Denis touches, I think, is phenomenal. So, Dave, you have read Dune Messiah. I don't know. Andy? No?
no, simply because I didn't really want to spoil any potential bits
Right,
of the film. Because
right.
I want to watch the films and then I want to go back and read the books and see the difference. So
Right.
So how do you, Dave, how do you think Denis is going to adapt this movie to the big screen?
So
Obviously.
I think he's gonna change it more than Dune 2 has changed from the source material of the second half of the first book. And I think that's needed because I think the book itself translated directly onto screen would not be a very fun movie to watch. It's a bit of a slow crawl of a book. It's definitely nowhere. Again, you leave Dune and Dune 2 off with them going into this holy war, and then the events of the next book pick up 10 years or so beyond that. So you don't see any of that. All you just skip that crazy part, and you're in a very slow period of a story. So the story at the end, it's not bad, but I think Denis is going to improve it for sure. So I think it's going to be changed a good amount from the source material. Lady Jessica, I'm trying to recall her role in the book.
Apparently she's not in it very much.
I was gonna say I'm not really remembering much of anything. Like I think she had a couple of mentions, but I don't even know if she had lines in it. But yeah, I think, like I said, the book didn't impress me, but I think there's enough there for Denis to use and make a really solid third movie here.
JD, are you excited?
Yeah, I haven't heard great things about the book, but I really think Denis is going to change it for the better. Like, I really do. I think he's going to take the good parts of the book and add his own Denny flair. And I think that whatever complaints people have about the books will not hopefully exist in this movie. I hope we at least get a prologue of the Holy War. So he might even dip into the Holy War. You never know.
Flashbacks.
Right.
Yeah, flashbacks. So I do think he'll change it for the better, and I'm looking forward to it.
Do we still think they're going to release it the same time as Doomsday, or are we still banking on a change? Because we've still got 15 months to go.
They got
So-
to move it. I think
It's like the same day, right? Or like a week apart.
It was literally the same day, I think.
That's
so.
right. Avengers Doomsday.
Doomsday, literally.
Yeah, they got to. That's just a weird play to release them the same day. It's a game of Hollywood chicken, I guess, and we're gonna see which one flinches first. But yeah, I can't imagine they get to the finish line on the same day still.
Well, do you think the Marvel blink because there were the rumors about Doomsday being split into 2 parts, and so they changed Doomsday to be a month earlier, and then Doomsday Part 2 comes out 6 months later, and Doom Part 3 just stays where it is.
Yeah.
So
Let's see it.
we never even talked about the 3 A's thing, did we? The image, or we did a little bit, but do we think there's 3 Avenger movies coming out because that spotlight is shining on and you could just see 3 A's, and now I can't unsee the 3 A's, dude. That's all I see in that image now.
So I saw you mention that. I didn't look deeply into the photo. I caught a glimpse of it, but I didn't notice 3 A's. But again, I didn't really look closely. But I totally forgot that you even sent that. So I don't know. I guess.
Seen 4 different iterations of things in that picture of people doing the 3A's, people showing the outline of half of Galactus's head, people saying that the spotlight is shining down at 3 X's to go towards the X-Men. So I'm
but we already know,
there's
we
so many
already
different
know,
things that could go on.
We already have the cast of X-Men. It's pretty much going to be there's going to be a little Avengers versus X-Men in there. So if it's AVX, I don't think that's the surprise because we already know that. Anyways, digression.
I was looking for
real
the photo,
quick,
but
JD, Denis' next franchise, DC or Star Wars?
DC, I think he has way more creative opportunity and potential there. I think he has more freedom there. So, wow, that would be exciting. I think that's just there. You couldn't ask for a better director to help DC launch their new universe.
Andy, do you agree? Or you want Star Wars?
Well, Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, I see your
Give him some
background.
He'll be
give him
changed.
some-
You're going to put him in
I'm not
shackles.
sure he would be. I think he's one of those ones that they would let him have a bit more freedom.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe Star Wars is going to finally let directors start having more freedom and
Give him Knights of the Republic.
yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, just money. That is Dune right there.
No, it's too early to be talking that dirty, Andy. That's evening talk, and it's
maybe-
morning over here.
Maybe for you, Sunshine, I'm raring to go.
I'm on Star Wars too. I would actually prefer that, and I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't prefer it. It's pretty close, but I think it's more likely that Denis would take on a Star Wars project than a DC.
I think he's
Star
more
Wars
likely
needs
to-
it.
Well, I think it's too close to Dune at that point. Or just space wars.
That is one thing for sure.
Yeah.
It is very similar, and it's almost a carbon copy.
Oh, but just doing DC would be more boring, though, wouldn't it? There's no lightsabers, there's no force. It's just
way more.
superheroes.
Got swamp people and space people and sand people.
No.
Oh, we got sand people over there too, I guess.
Because there's no aliens in Star Wars, it's fine.
Oh. No, I would love him. I would love him to see. I would love him on Star Wars. That would kick that franchise into gear.
Either one
Love
will
him
be
on
happy.
anything. On anything. I'd love him on toast, it's fine.
All right, let's move on to Game of
British people
Thrones.
on your toast.
There was a trailer that dropped for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Were we able to watch it?
About 3.5 minutes ago, while you were reading the
Nice.
intro for this
Nice.
episode, I
And
was like, "Oh, right, a trailer."
Well, it's fresh on your mind, Dave. So, what do you think of this trailer? Actually, I have a
Yeah.
quote from the showrunner that kind of goes with the vibes of the trailer.
Okay.
So, showrunner says they made a promise to George R. R. Martin that the show will never shift to a perspective of anyone in the upper class of Westeros. We are ground up in this series. We are starting right at the bottom. We're not with the lords and the ladies, the kings and the queens. Viewers will always stick with Dunk and Egg and this lower rim of Westeros society. The armorers, the performers, the barmaids, the whores, and the like. So, what do you think? Does that make
Yeah,
sense to you? Right?
I love that. Yeah, because the book, all of the Game of Thrones shows and books, we're always bouncing between house and house and house, the lords and the castle and queens and all that stuff, but we're never in Flea Bottom. We're never in, the slums of Winterfell out there. And this book does it. It falls around Dunk, who is not royalty at all. And we follow around a bald kid who is royalty, but he's hiding from his responsibilities, essentially. No, I thought the trailer was great. I think it painted exactly what I was expecting. The set design, the costume looked great as always with Game of Thrones. Some really cool armor sets that we saw with the tournaments, the lances starting up and setting up. You see the Baratheon helmet with the antlers on it and everything. Like there was just really cool nods already. We see the Targaryens riding through. I just think it's going to be fun, man. I think we're going to be from the perspective of Dunk and Egg, and we're going to be catching all these glimpses and Easter eggs of all these famous people and houses and all these characters that we know of and have read about in all these side books. And we're just going to be getting glimpses of them just like every other normal person in Westeros. So I think it's going to be really fun. It was only like a 1.5 minute trailer, I think. So it didn't show a ton, but I think it was perfect. I'm ready.
JD?
Yeah, the one thing I got out of this trailer is it does feel very grounded, which separates it from Game of Thrones. So I'm really happy to hear that that quote reaffirmed all that. So really excited to just get close to this character and follow a single character's journey in the Game of Thrones universe. I really like that perspective. It's something we absolutely haven't seen yet. And I think you could pull off something pretty special there. Yeah, I expect it also looks a little more lighthearted in like a really good way. Obviously, we're going to expect some really dark, gnarly stuff to happen, but still it did have this like more of a journey feel. So it looks good, man. Excited.
It's a little more kid friendly, right? Than the original book, like Game of Thrones. It's not like as crass and sexually deviant. George R. R. Martin doesn't lean into stuff like that in this story. It's probably not family friendly, but yeah, it is a little bit more hopeful or positive tones to it, I guess.
Right.
I feel what JD's saying there.
Andy, are you interested in this show? Can you give the audience your kind of Game of Thrones background? How big of a fan are you? How not a big of a fan are you, maybe?
Not a massive Game of Thrones fan, to be honest.
And I'm out of here.
Yeah, I know. Well, you talked about it on my previous show before, didn't you, Dave? So, and liked dropping lots of references to it when you weren't supposed to be. It's the only reason I started watching Game of Thrones in the first place was because I made a deal with what my girlfriend at the time was then, that we would swap shows. I'd pick a show for her to watch, she'd pick one for me to watch. I made a bad choice at the time for her because I got her to watch DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which was like 2 seasons long, and she gave me Game of Thrones, which was like 8 seasons long. Nice. I got up to the end of season 5, took a break, and then watched the rest of it. And I was like, yeah. I mean, there's some shocking bits in there, obviously, that are really good. Obviously, for I think anyone, the Red Wedding is obviously a massive thing that you're sitting there going, holy shit. So in terms of like when the whole thing finished, I sat back and went, I don't get what the original fuss was all about, of why it was so hyped. Maybe it's just me because I'm a miserable British bastard. But yeah, at the end of the day, I wasn't a huge fan. So House of the Dragons is something I've slowly been approaching. And so I will get through them just because I'm interested, because you just don't know, like when you've watched something that's attached to it that's you've maybe not enjoyed, but the next bit might be 10 times better for you personally. So it is something I will get round to. I have watched the trailer just because, I am a professional at the end of the day. So I knew I would be able to come on and talk about it. And it looked better to me than what I'd previously seen from that chain of House of Dragons and stuff like that for me personally. So I don't want to watch things out of order. I will give it like it's due and watch everything in time. So yeah, and it depends obviously who streams it over here. I don't even know who's streaming it in the UK, which channel streaming service, whatever. Fucking mental. It would definitely probably be Sky Max or anyone that knows Sky over here. So
right,
yeah, it's just it was news to us. Andy over there in the UK, he doesn't have access to Peacemaker right now because Max isn't over there, evidently. So. Yeah, it kind of throws off stuff when you get Penguin. Did you get to watch that when that was rolling out? Was that on another? It was
on a streaming platform I don't subscribe to because there's so many that you could. And so I just focused on the main ones, obviously Disney, Netflix, Prime, or whatever. So it is something that I have been definitely wanting to get to, but it's just I haven't had a chance to yet. Like Creature Commandos, obviously the first thing that really kicked off the new DCU. You can't get it in the UK. It's not on any streaming service. So I haven't even been able to touch that unless I want to go down the Pirates of the Caribbean route. So it's annoying that there's like obviously so much you want to pay for to watch everything. And at the end of the day, I'm not a millionaire.
Yeah.
I can't afford to have every single streaming service. So I've got to pick and choose what I want and then pick a time when things go on sale or like Doom Prophecy. I really want to watch that series, but it was on a streaming service that was niche and don't really carry that much over here. So I can see it. I can buy it on Prime right now as a series, but I'm like waiting for it to go on sale, and then I'll buy it and watch it. So
sometimes you gotta sail around Jack Sparrow. Sometimes
it was the same thing with The Last of Us as well. Like Last of Us, we had to buy it on Blu-ray and sit down and watch it because we don't have the channel that carries it.
Like you're the UK. It's not like you're. It's not like there's some like desolate third world country going on out there or something. Like I don't understand.
It's crazy that HBO don't have a UK streaming service.
Yeah,
they sell it all to other channels to stream themselves. So
like 80% of the cast is from the UK. Like all of these shows. I don't. That's wild. The one thing I will say about it, it seems like it's only going to be 6 episodes, 30 minutes each, which that's kind of a bummer. I know there's been mixed reviews and feedback to that. And I get like, okay, don't nitpick all the run times and this and that, they're the ones make that. But that does seem pretty short. As far as 6 episodes go, I mean, it was 3 books. So that means you're short. They were short books. They were, but 30 minutes, 6 episodes. I don't know if that's enough to tell the whole story. So maybe they're going to do 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons for sure.
Is that the plan? Okay.
Multiple seasons, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So I guess we're only going to get book 1 in this season and it'll be 6 episodes, 30 minutes. I have trouble with 30-minute episodes with this type of story because usually it's moving a little slower than other storylines or shows. And you're just getting into it and then, credits. Like it's 20, take away the credits. Now we have 23 minutes of show and it's a lot of stuff to like dive into and spend some time with and get deep into things for 23 minutes episodes. And then you have to wait a week again. So I struggle with that. That's kind of a bummer. But we'll see. Maybe they're 39-minute episodes and we get 34 or something, but that's my only negative feedback.
We're not talking Knights of the Seven Kingdoms right now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is there 3 books?
3 short books,
3 stories. It's
within
one book,
one
I think,
book?
and then there's 3 separate stories.
Yeah, you can. I think he put it all into one. It's like the Hedge Knight, the Knight, and the. I don't know. There's 3 different names.
Yeah, I forget what the names were, but yeah, there was 3 books, and then they started to release it as one bound book.
And just a reminder again, Egg is Dany's great grandfather, and he is also Maester Aemon's younger brother from the original show. And also the 3-eyed raven could be creeping around at this point, Brendan Rivers. So there's probably 2 people from the original series we could see in this show, and that's about it. It's 100 years before the OG show.
I like how they pointed that out right in the beginning of the trailer. Give clear context. 100 years before Game of Thrones.
Right. So it's very isolated because House of the Dragon's 200, 250 or something before.
Yeah.
And the Targaryens are at their downfall. No more dragons, but they're still obviously running Westeros.
It was fresh. Yeah, it's fresh in their minds. Dragons are like 20 years ago or something. Like most people, except for I think Egg. I think he was the only. Maybe he saw a dragon when he was a baby or something. I don't know. But
or he has dreams. Or does he have dragon dreams or something like that?
There's some connection there with dragons and him. But yeah, the Hedge Knight came out in 1998. Then the Sworn Sword was the second part in 2003. And then 14 years passed. And then 2017, the Mystery Knight came out, which
classic George.
I had to have read the Mystery Knight too, because I know I've read all 3, but no, okay, 2010. It's in classic AI. Yep, the first thing that pops up every time you do a Google search, and 90% of the time it's wrong. Yeah, it's 2010, so that's why I would have read it.
Winds of Winter, anyone? All right, moving on.
Let's stay positive.
Let's talk about some Marvel. This is a report from our guy, Daniel RPK, who is not always 100% correct, but it's fun to talk about. Tom Holland is reportedly not in Avengers Doomsday currently, but is expected to have a huge role in Secret Wars. But a Spider-Man will appear in Avengers Doomsday. They also interviewed Andrew Garfield on if he's returning, and he said no, unequivocally fucking no. So does this mean
So,
it's Tobey
yes.
Maguire, or is Andrew kind of lying like he did last time? Andy?
So I can believe that Tom Holland's Spider-Man isn't in it, because Brand New Day is supposed to be running just before or concurrent with the events of Doomsday. So I can believe that he's not in it. I always thought Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was probably going to be in this, despite whether they keep it secret or not. It's been a long time rumoured that he would be in this and he would have a decent enough role in it as well. So I can believe that. As for Andrew Garfield, I don't think he's got any reason to lie again. I expect him to be in Secret Wars. I don't necessarily expect him maybe to be in Doomsday, because this is setting up, obviously, the collapse of the universes, and then they bring them all together, and there's maybe multiple Spider-Men in one place. So I can believe that for Secret Wars. But Doomsday, he said Doomsday unequivocally fucking no, but he didn't say anything about Secret Wars. So yeah, so I'm convinced this is probably fairly true. It's been around, I think, for a while now in terms of this being the case. So I wouldn't be unhappy if Tom Holland's Spider-Man wasn't in it. Because it's, again, they've got obviously a lot of cast for this film anyway. There's probably going to be more that we don't even know about, and maybe even small cameos. So I could see him not being in it, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. As long as there's a Spider-Man in it, I don't think they need to have the current up-to-date Spider-Man.
Muted. Who reported that a Spider-Man would be in it? A Spider-Man. Where did that report?
Daniel RPK.
Okay, so don't really trust that fool. Often, I know sometimes he nails it, but he's a step above my time to shine. Hello, who is just lowest of the low.
We got this.
Just the worst type of rumor mill out there. Anyways, yeah, I think Secret Wars was the one I was expecting Tom Holland in the black suit to show up. So I totally buy the Doomsday thing too. I'm almost kind of going to be surprised if we do see a Spider-Man in Doomsday if Tom Holland's not going to be in it. It would make more sense that they all popped up in Secret Wars. Unless, maybe we get a nod to Miles Morales in Doomsday and that's the Spider-Man, but I don't know if he's showing up in Secret Wars like he does in the comics. I think there was some news that came out regarding that about, I can't remember if it confirmed Miles Morales would not be appearing in the MCU anytime soon. I don't remember what it was, but he does appear in Secret Wars with Peter Parker. So
right.
I guess that's my guess, but I feel like we won't see Spider-Man at all in Doomsday.
Yeah, maybe they do some kind of Ant-Man 2 thing where their end credit, except flipped, this would be before, but the end of like an end credit scene, like boom, the universes all go to white and he's in Doom's world or something after that. So it kind of says like, I don't know, because you're not going to spoil the ending of Avengers Doomsday. But let me rewind. I kind of think they're missing out on their star power by not having them in Doomsday. We've been missing out on star power without RDJ and Chris Evans. And yeah, RDJ is coming back. I just mean that's also confusing because he's a villain. But man, Spider-Man's one of your probably the most popular character that's still existing in your MCU canon. A fan favorite. So man, you're really missing out on that. But yeah, I could see it. I could see him being taken out of it. The Miles Morales thing, like, look, they stuffed Spider-Man into Civil War, which was already just a stacked cast and so much going on, and you introduced 2 brand new characters. So if we didn't get those reports where, yeah, I'm pretty sure they said Miles won't be in the MCU anytime soon, that would be a really cool way to have a Spider-Man in there, because they could do anything, dude. They could introduce a Miles Morales and fit him into that multiversal story.
Right.
But I don't know what I believe. I guess I kind of do believe it for some reason. The Brand New Day aspect, Andy and I talked about this right before the show. It just seems like it's just going to be in its own corner. So it's kind of a bummer. I hope it's not true.
I think we need to see Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman on screen together. How sick would that be?
Yeah.
Again?
Pretty good.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, of course. Kevin Feige has said that publicly, that like that's one of his most Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire's characters he would just absolutely love to work with on screen together.
So I think that
was a big Secret Wars rumor, was that
That'll
we'd
be
be
Secret
seeing
Wars,
Hugh
probably.
Jackman and Tobey Maguire teaming up on screen together. That was like one of the first rumors I feel like coming out with Secret Wars. But
so let me ask you this: so, like, does that mean that we will very unlikely now? It was already a little unlikely, but we're not going to see Doctor Doom in a Spider-Man 4 post-credit scene if he ain't going to be in Doomsday.
Unless the post-credit scene doesn't involve Spider-Man, Maybe it's like the Avengers and Doctor Doom are the post-credit scene.
Like the old school Marvel credit scenes where the credit scene was always setting up the next film that was due to come out, wasn't it?
But have you ever had that post-credit scene in a character's movie that would not show up in that movie they teased?
Yeah.
You know?
What? Well, I forget, but there were a few of those. I mean,
that post-credit scene where the character wasn't in it, but he may have appeared in the next film. Like the first Ant-Man film, the trailer was for Civil War, but it was Falcon talking about the fact that he knew a guy, which was going to be Ant-Man. So I guess it's connected, and
that was in Ant-Man's movies, and he was in the next movie they were teasing. So that would be weird. I don't think if he's really not in Doomsday, I don't think we're going to see like.
I'm going to find one.
At least Doctor Doom.
Well, they did the Thor hammer at the post-credit scene.
There you go. Thor wasn't, or Ant-Man wasn't, or Iron Man. I'm ruining it. I'm ruining it. You made a good point. Let it go.
Yeah. So they're gonna do a Doomsday post-credit scene. I think it's just gonna be a little different. Half of me still doesn't believe Spider-Man won't be in there at all. We'll see.
So final answer: is there a Spider-Man in Doomsday? JD.
Yes.
Andy.
Yeah.
Dave.
Rebel.
No.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Marvel Studios' upcoming projects. The only thing releasing this year is Wonder Man in December, and a trailer drop for that. Was that yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Little interesting, kind of like a movie star going to be a hero, kind of like give me like the Boys vibes, where they're like doing movies and stuff inside their own universe. I'm not familiar with this character. I know JD, you're not super familiar with him either. Andy, have you dived into any Wonder Man?
Yeah, not super familiar either, to be fair.
Not the most exciting character in my opinion.
No, I'm surprised they chose this character.
Jaja. I mean, that actor's solid. So
yeah. So Dave, what do you think of the trailer?
Yeah, weird. I mean, it's a weird character. Again, I think he is a movie star in the comics and then gets like experimented on and then ends up having these crazy psionic, or I forgot what it was, some crazy powerful power source. But like he's insanely powerful at one point. But it's Simon Williams. I don't know. He's some corny white dude in the comics who dates Wanda at one point, I believe. But I don't know. So the trailer is super weird. Obviously, it's a totally different style of series. It feels like a series that would come out in the Chapek era. So I'm surprised they're still moving forward with it. Actually, I feel like it's kind of going to land She-Hulk-ish, but a little bit better. They do have a great lead, but we've seen great leads be wasted and used in terrible ways. So we'll see. I don't even really know who's behind this thing. I have no idea what to expect. It was just a weird trailer. Wonder Man was never going to be a project I was really anticipating and like waiting for it to come out. So whether it comes out or not, I don't care. I'll give it a try when it's out though. But definitely seems like they're trying to do a different thing here,
which is cool.
Yeah.
I got nothing for this, dude. I'm not excited. This was filmed in the Chapek era. Like I'm pretty certain on that. So they've been sitting on this for over a year. Right. And what did we get out of the Chapek era? Nothing great. Add to it a really uninteresting character, in my opinion. Yeah, I really don't care much. My one thing though is I think he had something to do with the creation of Vision, like his brain waves were implanted into Vision or Ultron or one of the two. He is connected somehow to that. So then you got to wonder how White Vision was that on the list, Caleb? Was that
Vision Quest? Vision Quest
coming out next year. So you never know. That would be like one of the only things that would get me excited.
That would be a cool tie-in.
Somehow it's connected to that. But yeah, man, I got not a lot of excitement for this.
It does say, in a nutshell, it's a story of two actors struggling to make it in the Hollywood of the MCU, asking the big question, what does Hollywood look like in a world where superheroes are real? So basically, like Lub said, The Boys-esque as far as that goes.
It's a cool concept. I'll definitely check it out.
Those weird artsy things can go either way. It might be really cool. You never know.
Oh, I bet you would get Kango from Eternals back in this, because we know Camille and Johnny is still absolutely yoked out of his mind for no reason whatsoever. And he was super disappointed because they told him that the Eternals is going to be like a 3-project thing where they were going to do this for like 8 years or something. And they did one movie and never brought him back, except I think he did a voice cast for What If. in the animated series.
Yeah.
I think his character was in one of those episodes, which, yeah, big whoop. So he was a Bollywood star in the MCU. So we've
Okay.
already had some type of celebrity. We're getting Trevor Slattery that we saw in
Yeah.
the trailer, which is ridiculous, but I love Trevor. He was hilarious in Iron Man 3. He was pretty funny in Shang-Chi too. So yeah, I bet you we'd see Camille's character pop up again for the first time in a while. Give him a little love, a little bit of paycheck for that, because he is still massive. He looks like the Indian Hulk. He is a beast. Like,
All right, so buckle in for 2026, though. We have Daredevil Born Again Season 2 in March, The Punisher Special, X-Men 97 Season 2, Spider-Man Brand New Day in July, Vision Quest, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2, I don't know about that, and then Avengers
to watch that.
Doomsday in December. So
Man, that's
Daredevil,
all year.
Punisher, Spider-Man, Doomsday, like, let's go.
it's a good thing we got a fourth guy here to help with this. This is
Right.
going to be a heavy workload coming up here. My
Good
goodness.
Lord. And
Wow.
include the Punishers and Spider-Man, Hulks and Spider-Man. Well, if James Spader is supposed to be in Vision Quest, so like, it's just, man, that's a big year.
Yeah.
Marvel's biggest year
Gonna
in
be
the past
huge.
6 years. It's going to have to be. It's going to be their biggest year for almost a decade.
Except like everything comes out in the first 6 months of the year, apart from Doomsday. So we get everything from like February to July, and then it's like 5
Good.
months of just whacking
Waiting.
yourself off, waiting
Feed
for
me.
Doomsday to come around.
Edging some food.
Good.
Yeah.
And then then
wait.
Doomsday, dude, a big old buffet in December.
Oh God.
And then 2027, we have Daredevil Born Again Season 3. They're busting these out one a year. X-Men
God, keep on
97
busting.
Season 3. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 3. And Avengers Secret Wars. I wonder if they will throw another movie in there around the July, maybe like Shang-Chi or something. Who knows? 2028 and beyond, X-Men 97 Season 4. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 4. Then we have Black Panther 3, Blade. Who knows about that? But then
No,
a
we
report
don't.
came out that X-Men could come out May 5th, 2028. The first X-Men in the MCU movie.
It's too far away to get excited.
Right,
about.
exactly, yeah.
Well, there was supposed to be a film coming out. Was it March or February in 2027? And they took that slot away and gave it to someone else. So
Yeah.
you've got to think
Right.
there's
Yeah,
another
that
film
was.
that they would change that slot to maybe late 2027 or something like that to fill in the gap.
Did any of you? I know JD did. Did Andy or Love? Did you guys watch the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated show?
Yeah,
I didn't.
You did, Andy.
yeah.
Was it? How'd you like it? Any worth watching?
I mean, I thought
Yeah.
it was like some of it was cool, but I wasn't over. I couldn't care if I didn't watch it again, if that makes sense. So like,
Fair
I will
enough.
always watch it, and it was like some bits were cool, and some people were voicing like the original characters and stuff. But at the end of the day, I wasn't overly fussed about it. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't anything to
fair.
get too excited about, really. So
Fair enough. JD, you kind of felt similar about it, I think, or you?
Well, for watching it with my kids, I enjoyed it. They did play with the multiverse in a really fun way.
Mm.
So I never finished it fully. It wasn't that good. So for animated, I thought it was pretty good. But the episode 1 had a lot of cool surprises. I'd say watch episode 1 and see if you like it from there. But
Yeah,
at least
check
I
it out.
actually did enjoy that episode just because there's a couple weird characters that show up. They do play with it. It's not very canon oriented. Like, it's got some mix up with some characters and some of his origin stuff. So just that's kind of fun because you don't expect it.
Right.
Okay.
it's just
fair enough.
it's one of those weird shows that like it's fun for maybe younger viewers, but in terms of like connecting it to the MCU, it's utterly pointless. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
why they would do this for like 3, 4, 5 series. It just doesn't make. But then we're thinking of this as like proper adults, so we're not thinking of it as
Right.
like, you know.
It can't be connected though, right? Because there's no Norman Osborn.
Beautiful timing.
You cut out. There's a Norman
is no-
Osborn in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
He said there's no Norman Osborn in the MCU.
Yeah,
That's what he was going to say.
Yeah, no, it's not MCU at all. Not
No.
right.
But the problem is now we've got the multiverse. Everything is connected to the MCU, whether we want it to be or
Right.
not. So this is a universe out there somewhere where this is all happening. So
Right.
it is kind of MCU connected, but it's not. So
Dude, I'm
Like, the
reaching
fact-
for this.
What-
But
yeah.
I'm hoping that Spider-Man 4 is super dark. And so they need to get like the younger crowd their Spider-Man. So let's put out Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man every year because Spider-Man 4 is going to get pretty intense, you know.
I was gonna say they gotta be doing this for like, why are we doing a random Spider-Man animated MCU show that's a different dimension? Unless is there some chance of one of those characters on that show being brought into the 616 at some point in live action? And like, are they bringing that Norman over? Like, I just don't understand why we're doing it
Denzel.
and why we're doing 3 seasons. There's a 3rd season coming out in 2027. 4, yeah. So I don't understand, I guess, why we're doing this unless there's something they're gonna do from it. But
I mean, they
maybe it's
keep
just
telling us
a
to
waste.
watch all the animated stuff because they said, you know, you need to
Right.
go and watch X-Men 97 and the new animated X-Men because it's on the, if you go on Disney Plus, it's on the it's on the MCU timeline.
MCU list, yeah.
So even though it's not the same universe, they're like, you need to watch this. It's essential viewing for coming towards Doomsday and Secret Wars. So they're trying to connect everything in there, but at the same point, you're like, I'm not that interested. Like, has anyone watched the Eyes of Wakanda series?
Oh,
No, and the trailer, I somewhat had interest when they first announced it, not like super excited, but the trailer came out and I was just like, oh, all right, that's not really my style. I don't know. It didn't really get me going like I thought it would be. Yeah.
So it's like, again, they're putting that in there to give you some depth to like the Black Panther and bring other things in. And it's like the first like iteration of Iron Fist and stuff like that. But it's like no one's interested. So
Right.
why are you forcing the connection of all the animated stuff when realistically do something that's better? Like Wonder Man's going to be interesting because it is a Chapek era. I think they filmed it in like 2022 or something. They've just been sitting on it, and it's like, is it actually going to be worth it? Is it worth connecting it to the wider universe? So, like, can we not like they did the same with Ironheart? That was filmed back in 2022, and they sat on that for 3 years before dropping it. And so it's kind of like, okay, can we not concentrate on getting back to the modern era of stuff and the new, get rid of the Chapek stuff, please?
It's like they have a bunch.
We're almost through.
We record episodes sometimes and sit on them for weeks. For we can finally drop this. All right, we don't have anything this week. So that's what they're doing with Wonder Man and Ironheart.
We've got some gaps to fill in. There's no films, sod it. Let's just get this out.
All right, let's talk a little Star Wars.
Finally,
Ahsoka Season 2 wrapped filming. It is scheduled to release in 2026, probably after the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So
that answers something we were talking about.
yeah. Dave, how excited are you for Season 2? Has it when did Season 1 come out? Like what? 3 years?
2023.
2024? Oh, 23?
So 3 years apart.
Yeah, look at that.
And we
2
do have
years ago.
the recast of the Hound is now Balin Skull. I actually saw a picture and it looks pretty close. So
I haven't seen a picture yet,
I
but
forgot about that.
I like the casting.
The beard is nowhere near as neat as Ray Stevenson's was.
No,
that was
he
the
doesn't have
perfect
that.
beard, but
yeah. So
Ray
Andy,
had a beautiful beard.
Andy, you excited for this show?
well, as the now resident Star Wars aficionado of the group, I would, yeah, definitely. I mean, I dropped a video. If anyone wants to look at it, it's across all of our social medias. Just chatting quickly about it. But just super excited to see where they're going to go. There is high expectations for it, I think, especially for me personally. They've got a lot of ground to cover. Obviously, 2 universes. They've got to start building bridges towards the end game of the Thrawn film as well. Is there going to be a Mandoverse connection? Do we see Mando and Grogu at some point, since they're now kind of working with the New Republic as of the end of the Mando Season 3? They've got a lot of shit to do, like what's going on with Ahsoka and Sabine, like obviously Baden Skull's involvement in, like, are they going to be doing the father, son, daughter stuff, the Mortis stuff?
Oh yeah.
There's so much to cover, and they've like, if they just start dropping 30-minute episodes, I'm going to be so pissed. These better be 45 minutes to an hour each, and because it's still going to be 6 episodes again, isn't it? So a lot to cover, and I think they've got to move forward, but at the same point, I do have high expectations of it. I can get past the whole Sabine having the Force thing now. It's fine. Let's move on and just get towards a good point with it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm more excited or nervous for it because I don't want them to blow it. It's 8 episodes. So, but I just, there's a lot to cover, and the mother, father, son thing, like that's a big thing to jump into if we are going to do that. And that's going to be a lot riding on that because the OG fans and the Legend fans, they like that. And then the Mortis and the Clone Wars fans, they like that. So you better not blow the way you kind of do it here. It's a risk. And you got to make the connection with Thrawn being at a different part of the universe now. And there's a lot of stuff going on for only 8 episodes. So I'm nervous. But I am excited. I got to rewatch season 1 to kind of. I haven't rewatched it fully since it came out, so I got to do that.
I mean, that's probably the best way to describe it, isn't it? Nervously excited about it. So
I'm just starting more and more to notice how many people did not like Ahsoka season 1. Like, I know it wasn't critically like super well received back then, but now all I hear is negative stuff about it, and I don't really get it. I thought it was a pretty good little Star Wars show, like not like peak Star Wars, but a good chunk of Star Wars and the type of Star Wars that we kind of miss, like lightsabers and good Sith kind of characters. So
There was a lightsaber battle like
almost every
4
episode,
times.
and they're pretty
Yeah.
damn good too.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Balin's Skull, he had a great line. His arc was awesome. I'm really glad they recast him, especially with that kind of character with the Hound actor. So I'm really glad they're going to continue that story. That's one of I was most attached to him in that story, probably. So
Right.
he passed away, of course, with a cliffhanger with his character looking
Literally.
towards the mountain of the mother's son and the daughter or something like that. So that's one of the most exciting aspects of this. Glad he's recast. I'm personally excited. I don't have many worries because I'm not like that. Star Wars has just done me wrong too much to where I'm not super attached to like, oh, this has to be so good.
No attachments. Good.
I just sit back and relax. Yeah. So I think this will be entertaining, dude, especially because they are building towards something big. It's been a long time since we've had that in Star Wars, and now we're finally kind of at the latter half of that process. We only have a couple projects before our next movie and then our next climax movie with Thrawn, because Ahsoka season 2, Mandalorian Grogu movie, and then your big climactic movie. So I'm glad we're actually really heating up in that build towards that climactic movie.
Right.
Yeah, man, I think it'll be good. I'm excited.
I liked Ahsoka season 1 more than Mando season 3.
Oh,
100%. Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
well, you're wrong. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
No, we're just jumping over the Anakin episode of Ahsoka
Right.
season 1.
Yeah, one of
Like,
the
on
best.
top of everything else, that was incredible seeing him brought back, and Hayden Christensen, absolutely 10 out of 10 performance as far as bringing back the character for everything he had to do with it. So I thought Ahsoka season 1 was solid. But yeah, no, it got a lot of negative feedback. But it's hard to gauge Star Wars feedback anymore these days.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's
fair.
always poison. So it's just like, you're always going to get negatives.
I mean, that is the biggest worry for season 2, is for me anyway, is how they're going to use Anakin, because obviously he's reportedly got a bigger role in this season.
And Obi-Wan, right?
And I don't think the Obi-Wan stuff is true. That's not been confirmed.
Okay.
I think they even said it would be like a Clone Wars flashback, maybe with the three of them together.
Right.
But even still, like the rumor that they're going to go down the father son daughter route, and will Anakin finally claim his destiny to be the father, so to speak? And I'm like, if you overuse Anakin in this, I've said it before on a few different shows, but you run the risk of damaging his legacy a little bit as Anakin. Like, if you overplay the hand too much with bringing him back and then try to shuffle stuff into his story to prolong it and elevate it. So that's my biggest worry, is how they use Anakin in this season. So don't overuse him. I thought the amount they used him in season 1 was perfect. That one big World Between Worlds episodes, and then the end as the Force Ghost looking over Ahsoka.
Right.
Don't push your hand too far, because I will fucking attack them if they fuck this up.
Even that, like, they did do it well, but there were multiple points where it felt like they were walking a tight wire. Like, it could have been, they could have made it look really bad, but Hayden nailed it again. Like, thankfully, Hayden did a really good job with everything they've given him, but it could have came off corny easily at a couple of those points. It didn't. It landed great, but I totally agree. You're playing with fire when you go back to the Anakin well for the next season. And man, you better not make him look dumb.
Well, stay tuned. Of course, we will be covering that show next year, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Ready. Dude, 2026 is crazy.
We gotta rewatch all the Star Wars shows and then do a full ranking of every season, top to bottom. Now that we got Andy on the squad,
I've got a list. I can do it right now. Let's go.
there you go. I figured you might.
All right, one more Star Wars topic before we move on to Peacemaker. John Boyega was asked what he would do if he could remake the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Of course, Finn did not have the best treatment in the sequel trilogy. Yeah, ran around yelling Rey's name, and then all of a sudden, maybe Force sensitive at the end. Who knows?
I've got something to tell you. Never tells you.
A story best for another day. He says, it would be mad. First of all, we're not getting rid of Han, Luke, all these people. We're not doing that. The first thing we're doing is to fulfill their story, fulfill their legacy. We're going to make a good moment of handing the baton. Luke Skywalker wouldn't be disappearing on a rock. Hell no. Standing there and he's like a projector. I would want to give those characters way more. Our new characters will not be overpowered in these movies. They won't just grab stuff and know what to do with it. Shots fired at his girl Ray. No, you've got to struggle like every other character in this franchise. I look to the old Republic stories and see what we can add to the continuation of that. I would definitely want to see forced unleash stories in there. I would try to expand the Star Wars universe as much as possible while respecting the lore. If we're expanding lore, we have to do it within the respective boundaries that stay true. So obviously make Finn the director of the next Star Wars trilogy. So let's go.
This sounds like what you would type into ChatGPT and say, give me a compilation summary text of all of the Star Wars Reddit fans that enjoyed Legends. And that's pretty much, he hit every single note that they, which I agree with. Like, I'm good with all of it. But that sounds like he like literally hit every key
make fans
Reddit
like me
note about Star Wars fans that they want to see and stuff. Like, he hit every single point. So either that was very calculated, or he is a very true, deep Star Wars fan, or both. But
It was the most ridiculous answer I've ever heard.
right?
Like, just give me every bit of Star Wars and throw it in there. Yeah, I'm going to respect the lore and that no one's going to hate me for it, but I want everything in there. And it's just, oh my God. It just sounded like someone was writing a comment section for Star Wars Theory. It was just, what's going on?
It was just every single main point I have ever seen on Reddit of Star Wars he
It's
mentioned
just like,
there.
how can I sound good to every single fan out there without hurting any of them whatsoever? I'm just going to throw everything in there.
So you think he was sucking up a little bit?
Oh, it was the stupidest answer I've heard from anyone in a long time about anything. Like, even Andrew Garfield lying to us about previous Marvel films did a better job. So it's like, it's the most ridiculous answer because he didn't give a specific answer. He's just like, I'm going to pick out bits of everything of Star Wars and throw it in there. And then he's like pandering to the people that didn't like the Han, Leia, Luke storylines from it and going, oh, we're going to treat them better with respect. Oh, but we're going to do this. We're going to give them some Knights of the Old Republic sort of keys to everything. It's just like, oh my God, pick a subject of what you'd actually do and tell us what you'd actually do. Like, don't just like spank me over, like lean me over, wipe some cream on my backside and send me on my way. Like, just give me a proper answer, for God's sake, man, because you're a good actor.
I don't know, man.
Go on.
Congressman Boyega had a great answer there, and I think it was very genuine.
Andy, a little too harsh. He was just
Sorry.
overviewing
Sorry.
the things Star Wars had needed to do this past.
Was this a
decade.
sequel trilogy, or was it all of Star Wars he was rewriting here?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It was both.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. What was the question? I did forget it because he went through so many things.
If he could remake the sequels, what would he do?
Okay, yeah, and he literally covered about 25 movies worth of content there. But
Well, his first part was pretty directed at the movies. Give Han, Luke, and Leia their good send-offs. Then he just goes like, Old Republic, Force Unleashed, video games, movies, books.
yeah, I don't. How do you have those? Aren't all in one trilogy?
All right. Let's move on to Peacemaker, episode 7 and 8. If you have not finished season 2 of Peacemaker, or if you're Andy and you're feeling crazy, you can stick around and listen to what we got to say. But this will be a full spoiler warning.
Should absolutely point out I've not seen any of Peacemaker season 2, so I'm just here to back up my guys and offer the occasional British quip. It's fine.
Good.
And Andy let us know he already saw spoilers, and he's totally fine. We are not forcing him to sit through the spoiler-filled discussion.
I don't want to be left out, okay? I'm part of the team now. I want to stay.
Let's go.
So episode 7, we did get the big reveal of Nazi World, and now in episode 7, it's funny, Harcourt goes, you didn't see the big portrait of Hitler on the wall?
Yeah.
And he just turns and there's a picture of Hitler right there. He's like, oh, didn't notice that one.
Damn, how'd I miss that?
Judo Master had a cool little, I liked his scene with Adebayo, kind of like saying, you know, we're both kind of outcasts. We got to stick together in this world. They played a little Scrabble, I think it's called. Instead of Scrabble, it's Scrabble in that world. And then do you want to talk about the end where Chris is having that moment with his dad and brother? They're, you know, his brother's super pissed at him that he killed that universe's version of Peacemaker. But his dad's like, hey, I just live in this world. I don't agree with everything that's going on. I'm not a pro-Nazi. You know, I'm actually a good guy. And then Vigilante sees that he has Economos tied up, so he jumps through the window and just starts stabbing him in the neck, and it was just like the biggest no I sat in a while. Oh man. So JD, were you as shocked as I was at that part?
Oh yeah, very audibly. You know, my whole house heard it. What a wild! Because it was so mixed. You're just going back and forth, roller coaster of emotions because they're all Nazis. But then the dad is actually like, oh, he's just like a kind of a good guy operating in this Nazi world. You expected him to be just as bad as he was in the last universe.
Right.
So you're like feeling good about this. You're like, good guy, and then dead. Just dead. And then is that the same episode where right after that they walk out in front of like Frank Grillo and all his people, Argus?
He gets arrested at the end. Yeah.
So what an ending there too. That episode was incredible. Like one of my favorite Peacemaker episodes out of any season.
And it was only 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was short,
so
right?
much longer.
And then we get this finale that was an hour long. That was just. Are we getting into the finale yet, or
Let's stick to 7 first. We'll talk about the good stuff.
Episode 7, great episode. Absolutely loved it. Very oh shit moment at the end. That's what I love about these shows.
Dude, it was crazy too because they set it up perfectly. Because not only obviously we think he's okay, he was a white supremacist in the other dimension, so this is a Nazi universe. Obviously, he's gonna be right at home with them. And especially when you see Chris's brother seeing Adebayo and yelling, "One got out," and chasing her down like she's a loose animal. Obviously, you're like, word, they're both definitely on the same page of the Nazi world here. And then it turns out only the brother really is. Even the dad was like, well, why were you chasing her? Like, he was like confused as to why. And that's my one gripe with this episode. I'm sorry. How did Adebayo outrun a superhero like Chris's brother for like 10 blocks as the entire neighborhood can't catch up to Adebayo as she's jumping over fences? Like, he's a superhero and he couldn't run down Adebayo. Like, she literally burned him and left him in the wind for no apparent reason. So I couldn't get over
like
that.
20 people in the wind.
I was like,
not one person.
Is she just the fastest person in the world? Like, how is she outrunning? This is like a Leia chase scene in Obi-Wan. But other than that, crazy. I like how they use Luther's assistant from Superman to find the portal dimension because he's used to the portal technology, which was a big nod to the Superman movie. So that was a good way to use that character. Man, it was just savage and great acting by John Cena at the end of this. When he collapses, he's watching his brother being stabbed and bleeding to death. He's having his flashbacks of the time he accidentally killed his brother. And so obviously we get this like childish, fearful scream of him yelling, "Stop, get off of him. You know, what is wrong with us? Everything we touch dies." Like, he loses it. He collapses. But it was great acting by John Cena. He really has shown in this season, especially with the emotional stuff and his depression and not wondering, you know, not knowing where he fits in everything. He's hit a lot of different ranges of acting in the season. He's definitely far beyond The Rock. He's actually good at acting and can hit different ranges. So it's just crazy. I never would have guessed John Cena would have been such a good actor who made me buy into stuff. But episode 7 was a huge episode for him.
And how do we feel about his brother's point of view? I mean, even his dad says, you know, the drugs, the alcohol, like, but clearly that version of Peacemaker was probably very pro-Nazi, not a good person. You know, his dad knew it.
And his dad could tell that Chris was a good person.
Right.
Like, he's like, so it was an accident. Like, he believed him about the whole scuffle with him and the other Chris. Yeah.
And he's like, why did you stay, or why didn't you say anything? And Chris is like, I just want to experience having a family. And it was like, damn, like, yeah, that's got to be tough. Like, you lost your dad and brother. So really good stuff there.
Yeah.
All right. Episode 8. Frank Grillo is doing the Salvation meta-human prison, where this alternate reality is where they're going to put all the meta-humans now. So, and it was honestly just
came out of nowhere.
Weird pacing throughout the episode. They had the concert with the intro song playing for maybe 5+ minutes. And like weird flashback with Chris and Harcourt going back there before, like a memory they had. It kind of confused me. They kissed and then it went over. I don't know. It was weird.
Did that intro scene not feel like an alternate dimension? Like, when have we ever seen Harcourt being that happy and bubbly and positive? I get they were saying, okay, maybe it's during the point they were dating after season 1. But the whole plot point of season 2 was she's been a miserable mess since she was fired after season 1. So at what point was she at this concert acting like a teenage girl? That's not Harcourt. That was not Harcourt. And so the whole thing was like, okay, this is obviously another dimension we're looking at. And then it just turns out it was a flashback from a few weeks ago. And then they do the same scene with a different band, like you said.
1 week
on the
later.
same boat. Yeah, like a week or two later. And they're both doing corny, smiling, non-Carhort. It just felt weird, bro. It felt like a different, it was just kind of, I can't think of the right word. Just, it was all over the place, man. It was just a weird episode. And it didn't feel like a finale for everything that happened in the episodes leading up to it. It didn't feel connected to the rest of the season barely at all. Like the whole plot with them going dimension to dimension, trying to finding a planet where they can use it as a prison. I know it was connected to the door we've been dealing with all season, but it felt totally disconnected from the plot of the rest of the season of them going. There were funny parts too. Like they opened the door to one dimension and it's massive spiders with skulls that are just constantly screaming. Like there was some random funny James Gunn stuff in there. But as a whole, it just the whole dimensional door thing and the concert stuff, it was just disorienting. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. And then it was over.
Yeah. There was too many songs. There was two full songs, like a musical almost. And plus the way episode 7 ended, I expected way more fireworks from that clash of Frank Grillo and Peacemaker and his crew. He just ends up in jail and then he just ends up out. That was pretty disappointing. I was really looking forward to that conflict, the climax of that conflict. Grillo wanted to kill Peacemaker and Peacemaker is going to get out of it, but that was a really weird way to do that.
Instead, we got a Rick Flag doing cocaine montage. Like, what the hell? I don't know. That was so random.
One of the doors had a zombie universe. I was thinking
that was cool.
Yep.
Y'all have been trying to get these guys.
Somebody got infected too, and they made it back through the portal. Right? They shot him, but he was still infected and started bleeding. I feel like they still brought the zombie disease over to that universe. But
Man of Tomorrow, so it's going to be a zombies thing.
Oh God,
no. But pretty disappointing, man. It's not a bad episode. I'm not going to say it's a bad episode. It just didn't feel like a finale. There was a lot of loose threads. There was a lot of arcs. I was really looking forward to seeing the climax too that we didn't get. And yeah, like you said, it felt choppy and strange. It just didn't do it for me. Good, decent Peacemaker episode, just not a finale.
I don't think it was mid. It wasn't even decent. I'd say
it was one of the
6 out of 10
episodes of the season for sure for me. The song. I'm not going to repeat the exact words, but there's a song that played like a third of the way through the episode during a whole montage for, again, like JD said, I think the entire song played. And the lines, "Won't you stop effing my heart in the ass," except just, I'm not kidding. That line was probably said 30 to 40 times. No, wait, it said it 6. The hook was 6 or 7 times, and they played the hook like 5 or 6 times. It's just like, wait, what is this song saying?
And I think the way they teamed up and like had a great time together, I thought that was them teaming up to kind of go after Frank Grillo and the Argus or something they were gonna gear up for battle. They just got together and had a good time, and then freaking Peacemaker gets thrown into an alternate dimension. It's over.
So they use Vigilante's money, which we saw he had that stash of all heroin, cocaine, tons of money, international money, weapons, probably a nuke or two in there too. He had freaking everything in his little bunker. He's like, well, I'm not going to use it. It's evil money, but I'm not just sitting on it. So they convince him to use it for good. And so they buy this like CIA level building for their new agency that they're going to be, I guess, doing agent stuff, but for good and not corrupt and, fighting against Argus and whatnot. But yeah, they used the money to buy that was a CIA level building. They didn't buy a little office shack. So they're pretty well funded right now with Vigilante's drug money. But yeah, then they just take Peacemaker away and toss him into this place that's called Salvation or whatever. And he hears like a bunch of monsters and stuff out in the trees. It's like a predator world, it felt like. And now I guess next season we're going to join Chris in this other dimension, and I'm assuming we're going to get a bunch of cameos of metahumans who have been sent there over time, because that's going to be the metahuman prison. So we're going to see him probably meet a ton of metahumans that are going to help him escape and meet up with his team. I'm assuming that's what season 3 is going to be. But just overall as a finale, it just felt disjointed, weird paced, and just kind of just not really a satisfying conclusion for the season as a whole.
Right. I think the highlight of the episode was, you kind of mentioned it, when they all got together and Chris was still kind of depressed and Adebayo kind of cheers him up, says, I forgot what she said exactly. Like you only do bad things when you don't like think it through first when you're actually yourself.
Yeah,
you're
when
true to
listen
yourself.
others.
Yeah, you're a good person. So I kind of like that. And then Vigilante says his thing, Hardcore says their thing. That was cool. And then it was just like
Good thing.
throw that all out the window, throw Christian into jail. So it was weird.
But that's what's crazy is two of the best scenes of the finale was that scene and the scene where Adebayo and her lesbian partner break up. That was one of the better scenes of the episode. It was random, but it was actually well acted. Like it ended, I was like, okay, Adebayo is a good actress right there. That was actually a good scene of a plot point that I have not cared about this entire time. But that was one of the better scenes of the finale, which is a problem. It's a problem that that's one of the best scenes of the finale. But it was actually a pretty touching scene. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So overall, season 2, what would you rate it out of 10? JD?
The number 8 comes to mind right off the bat, so it would have been higher with a better finale. Season 7 really picked it up. I wasn't entertained the whole season. It was funnier than season 1, I think. I was laughing harder. But I don't know if I like it more than season 1 yet, so I'm gonna go with an 8.
And you probably put season 1 like 8.5 or something like that.
Yeah, and I'd probably no. Let me give this season more than an 8. Yeah, I'd say they're both like 8.4s, and I got to figure out which one is better.
I'm trying to find. I don't think we put down ratings for season 1.
I couldn't.
I don't
find
think
it
we
either.
covered it. I don't think we ever covered Peacemaker season 1. Now that I'm thinking about it,
We didn't, did we?
no, I
No.
think we just watched it but we didn't cover it at all, so we don't have ratings for it. That's a bummer.
Slackers.
This is lower than season 1 for me for sure. Season 1 I probably had rated at like 8.5 or higher. Probably like an 8.6, 8.7. This one maybe an 8. I thought overall it had a couple of really solid episodes, but it had a slow start and a weak finish. And I actually thought season 1 made me laugh a lot harder. Vigilante had way funnier seasons in season 1. I just like the whole pacing of it. Mern and everybody in season 1 were a great little setup there. So I think other than episode 6 and 7, it was a pretty slower, weaker season. So maybe I kind of want to give it a 7.9, honestly, but maybe an 8.1. But that's the highest for sure, 8.1.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton of action in this season either.
Right.
No,
Like couple,
especially
short
compared to
scenes here
season
and there.
1. There's
is
a lot of
fine.
crazy scenes, but it
season
doesn't
1
have
was
to.
more action packed, but yeah, Peacemaker is more about crazy comedy stuff and some action, yeah. But they could have used more action in season 2 for sure. I think David just convinced me. Season 2 is probably about an 8. Yeah, if you really think about it.
Well, the other thing is season 1 had way more fun nods to the outer universe, like a bunch of stuff about Batman and rumors
That
about
was
this.
so
And
funny.
then season 2 didn't really have that many nods after the first episode with the Justice Gang there. I feel like we didn't really nod to a lot of other characters in the universe. Well, we did get a Lex Luthor cameo, so that was pretty huge. But yeah.
If I can just jump in with a comment
Yeah,
from the YouTube
Andy, what do you
section.
think?
Well, the last on YouTube is saying, I thought it was a good episode, but an underwhelming finale. Episode 8 kind of felt like a semi-epilogue. The only problem is that it never felt like we completed the climax.
Agreed.
Totally agree.
And I always recommend that you finish the climax.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, it's more enjoyable by the end.
but hasn't
The whole point.
exactly, yeah. Hasn't James Gunn said that there's no guarantee there's going to be a season 3? But obviously, this finale heavily leans into what's going on with Superman, Man of Tomorrow.
You know what? If there's no season 3, sorry to jump super quick in there, I could see why he's saying this leads into Man of Tomorrow, just because of the prison planet. And in Man of Tomorrow, I bet the prison planet's a big plot point of that movie, and it got established in this finale. So that technically could be justified as, yes, it was a big thing leading into the next movie because that's going to be a main part of the plot in Man of Tomorrow. And maybe
we might
we see
just not
Peacemaker
know it yet.
in
Yeah,
there.
kind
Right.
Yeah.
And then maybe we don't see a season 3. I don't know. Maybe he gets. It says James Gunn on this one rules out Peacemaker season 3, but says Peacemaker himself is now set up for a broader role in the wider DCU. And then
He's
really
so in Man of Tomorrow.
I
He's so in
could
that
see
movie.
a show called Checkmate because they kind of formed this group called Checkmate, and I could see this Checkmate show moving forward. Another thing I thought about,
okay.
and you just said bringing these like dimensional prisons, like that's how they always beat people like Doomsday. They can't kill them; they throw them
Right.
into a thing. I just thought
Galactus.
that would be such a funny post-credit scene if you could just see Peacemaker in this alternate dimension. All of a sudden, Doomsday gets thrown right in front of him. He's trapped with dudes.
So JD, you mentioned Checkmate, and that was the name of the agency that they funded with Vigilante's money there. So that is a thing in the comics, apparently. So were you familiar with that before? Okay.
Well, the weird thing is I'm familiar with it as more of a very villainous role. Maxwell Lord is trying to shut down heroes, very connected to shutting down heroes on the whole planet, but still it was very much a villain organization that the heroes were fighting against and did not have these characters in it. So the Checkmate could have much more background that I'm not familiar with, but the Checkmate I know is pretty villainous.
So there's a rumor that they set this up for a reason. Maybe it's not Peacemaker season 3, but like you said, maybe it's a show about the agency itself, Checkmate, which would kind of be also could have been the same show as Waller that we've been hearing about. And Waller would be the antagonist for that show. We've set up this agency here. We're going to follow the same crew, but it's not going to be called Peacemaker, and it's going to be joined with the Waller series we've heard of. So that way it doesn't feel like a waste of what they set up in this finale here. But Peacemaker necessarily isn't going to be the lead of the story. But that sounds like he'll be in movies.
We just got that as a comment, like that exact same thing. So that was wild. Dave did not read from the comments there.
Did not read that at all. I'm not.
Yeah, you did. You big fat liar. Yeah.
I'm a
stealing comments as your own.
I don't get to see people's comments anymore.
Yeah, that's a good call. I could totally see that happening.
The gods kicked Dave out for lying. All right. Well, that wraps it up for another edition of Week in Geek and another season of Peacemaker. What do we got next on the horizon? Anything coming out soon? We doing some fun episodes?
I think there's a few things to drop. I think you already did the live episode of the Star Wars roadmap, but it's still got to be dropped on everywhere else where you listen to your friendly neighborhood podcasts. I think we're going to be covering Alien Earth at some point soon.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Maybe
soon.
Even some Marvel Zombies thrown in at some point.
I'll cover that with you. I watched the first episode.
I'll absolutely cover that.
Oh, and
with
Gen
you.
V. What about
Gen V? When that
I haven't even started that. Is it
David!
good?
David.
Is it?
God's
is it
sake,
good?
man! Call yourself a nerd. Fuck's
Is
sake.
it any good? I'm season 1 was alright.
I'm with you, dude. I haven't started it either.
Oh my God.
I've seen 4 episodes. It's good.
Is it
Better
as
than season
good?
1?
Yeah. What's the comparison?
It's
so far?
on par with season 1.
Okay.
Is there any anaconda penises or anything crazy to look out for? Because that
That's
kind
a
of
good
keeps
question,
me. That
actually,
keeps me
JD.
waiting a little longer sometimes.
Lots of dickless comments for that dude that had his exploded, and quite a few cameos from some of the Vought boys and seasons in there. So
Okay.
I'll start it soon here.
I think they've done a good job
Stranger
handling
Things.
the death. They did a good job handling the death of the actor and kind of making it a storyline. So
Okay.
gracefully.
Also, Stranger
we cover
Things.
Gen V.
There you go. We will be. We covered season 1 briefly. I think we did the full season in one episode, but we did cover it.
Mm-hmm.
But Stranger Things is dropping in a month, which I am at the
Oh.
finale of season 2 now. I'm cooking.
There we go.
So we're definitely going to be covering that when season 5 drops, and maybe we'll do a recap episode before we get to season 5, talking about the first 4 seasons, ranking them. Yeah. So we're gonna have a Stranger Things centric episode. Andy, I still don't know if you're being serious or joking about the first portion of that. Have you seen Stranger Things, or did you stop after the second episode?
You'll never know, mate, until we start covering it.
Get this guy out of here! Get this guy out of here!
I like having that bit of mystery in our relationship, David. We're pretty revealing in our group chat, so I like to keep a little
Spice things up a little.
I've got your Galactic Core podcast email information. I will check your notes and see if you have mentioned anything about Stranger Things.
I mean, you can always welcome to go back and look at episodes, Dave. Hit those ratings up. It's fine.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode. We will see you next time at Why So Sidious.
And thanks for y'all in the comments.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
thank you.